Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going on a tour inside your own head to figure out how memory actually works. We're going to break it all down with three really simple ideas: a sketchpad, a hard drive, and a workbench.
So, let's start with something we've all done. Someone gives you a phone number, right? You hold it in your head just long enough to punch it into your phone, and then, poof, it's gone. What is going on there? Well, that simple little act is a window into a super complex process that's running in your brain like all the time.
Okay, so our journey starts at the first stop for any new piece of info, what we're going to call the mental sketchpad, or, what scientists call short-term memory.
Now, the crucial thing to get here is that short-term memory is not built to last. Think of it like a sticky note, a temporary holding area. The source material calls it a bridge between what you just saw or heard and what you might actually learn and remember later. The original text used this awesome Spanish phrase, almacén temporal, and that translates to temporary warehouse. It's such a perfect analogy, isn't it? A place where information just sits for a little bit before it's either tossed out or filed away for good.
What's really wild is that this temporary warehouse isn't just some passive box. I mean, look at this. It's connected to everything: attention, language, thought. To even understand what I'm saying right now, the words have to pass through this short-term system first. It's a busy place.
And this isn't just some abstract concept either. It has a real physical home in your brain. This whole mental sketchpad is run by a network of key players, like your frontal lobe, and deeper parts like the hippocampus and the thalamus. They're all working together to manage this constant flow of information.
All right, so let's move on. What happens when a piece of info is actually important enough to keep? Well, we're moving from that temporary sketchpad to the brain's enormous, permanent hard drive, long-term memory. So unlike that little sketchpad, this is the brain's deep archive. This is where we keep all our knowledge, our skills, our life stories. The capacity is just mind-boggling, holding everything from what you had for breakfast this morning to things you learned when you were a little kid. And here's where it gets really cool. This hard drive isn't just one giant messy folder. It's actually organized into two main systems. On one side, you've got declarative or explicit memory. These are the facts and events you can consciously call up, things you know you know. On the other side, you've got non-declarative or implicit memory. These are the skills you do without thinking, like riding a bike. Let's break that down even more. Remember your 10th birthday party? That's episodic memory. The fact that Paris is the capital of France, that's semantic. But the way your fingers just automatically know how to type the word Paris, well, that's procedural. See? Every memory has its own little home in your brain's library. Okay, let's dive into what is, honestly, the most dynamic and probably the most important part of this whole system. We've seen the sketchpad for jotting things down and the hard drive for long-term storage. Now let's check out the active workbench, where the real thinking gets done. This is your working memory. And listen, this is a really important distinction. Working memory is way more than just a holding pen. It's an active, dynamic system that not only holds information, but also juggles it, manipulates it, and processes it in real time. It's where you do mental math or follow along with a conversation. And again, that source material just hits the nail on the head with this phrase, espacio de trabajo mental, a mental workspace. That's exactly what it is. It's not just storage. It's the workbench where you pull out different pieces of information, tinker with them, and use them to get a job done. So, how does this mental workspace actually work? Well, two psychologists, Alan Baddeley and Graham Hitch, came up with a famous model that helps us picture it. Basically, think of it like a coordinated team of specialists all working together right inside your head.
So, leading this team is the central executive. That's the manager, deciding what to focus on. Then, you've got the specialists, the phonological loop, that's your inner voice, the part that was repeating that phone number earlier. The visospatial sketchpad is your inner eye, picturing a map in your head. And finally, the episodic buffer brings it all together, weaving everything into a single, coherent story. So what's the big takeaway here? It's this: how well your mental workbench functions, your working memory, is pretty much the foundation of what we call functional intelligence. It's your ability to think, to reason, and to solve problems on the fly.
Okay, so we've met the whole crew: the sketchpad, the hard drive, and the workbench. Now let's just step back for a second and see why understanding all this is so incredibly important in our day-to-day lives.
So why does any of this matter? Well, because at its heart, memory isn't just about looking back at the past. It's the engine that moves us forward. Every single new skill you pick up, every new idea you understand, it's all built on this foundation. Without it, learning would be impossible. And just think about what that means in practice. This isn't just abstract science. The quality of your decisions, your ability to follow a complex story, even understanding the words I'm saying right now, it all depends on how well these memory systems are working together. It's like the invisible operating system running your entire life.
So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with one final thought. As you've been listening to me, you've actually been using all three of these systems. Your sketchpad held my words for a moment, your hard drive pulled up related ideas, and your workbench has been busy putting it all together. So the question is, which one of those tools do you think you're using the most right now?